We'll move further. Yesterday we have seen that in the period of Renaissance, the theory propounded by Hugo Grotius, Thomas Hobbes have created a huge impact on the period on the area of philosophy or on the area of jurisprudence as such. We'll understand the opinion or the theory propounded by Hobbes. The Hobbes theory of natural law was based on the natural right of self-preservation. Means he is of the opinion that for the purpose of self-preservation of person and property, the person came into social contract. Otherwise, it was not necessary to enter into contract, but for the purpose of preservation of person and property, he entered into contract. Not only he entered into contract, but he want to secure self-protection and as well as to avoid misery and pain. Means whenever there was an attack by the another tribal community towards other tribal community, therefore in order to secure their life as well as property, the all the people, all the men voluntarily entered into contract, and this way the theory of social contract has been developed, and this way the concept of state has been developed according to Hobbes. Because why it was necessary to enter into contract? Because prior to social contract, the life of the people was chaotic condition, and it was under constant fear, the fear of life, and therefore before entering into contract, prior to social contract, the life of human being was nasty, brutish and short, and therefore to protect his life, to protect his property, to avoid the misery and pain, the men voluntarily entered into contract, and this way the social contract has been developed according to Hobbes. Then further he says, when men entered into social contract, that after entering into social contract, men have surrendered their freedom to some mightiest authority. This is the point of discussion and debate. After entering into social contract, after entering into social contract, men have voluntarily surrendered. First thing, the men have voluntarily entered into social contract, and after entering into social contract, according to Thobbes, the men have surrendered all their rights or their their freedom to some mightiest authority. We may call him as a state, we may call him as a sovereign authority, mightiest authority, so as to that mightiest authority can fight with another tribal community and protect the rights, protect the person, protect the property of all the person who have entered into social contract. Or that mightiest authority could be known as ruler or state. And because of surrendering of such right to such mightiest authority, it was necessary that some ruler or some authority or some king or state shall be established. Okay, this mightiest authority can be known as state or ruler, that is king. Means this way there was evolution of state or evolution of ruler or king in the society or in human society. The basic object of evolution of state, evolution of ruler is to protect the property and person. This is known as a police state concept. Police state means the job of the state is to only secure the life and property of the person. This is a police state. The state has no other right to inquire into the personal matters of any other person, or they cannot enter into the personal life or individual life of the person. They have only job that to protect the life and property of the person from external aggression or from the external threat. And therefore, the Hobbes was a supporter of absolute power of the ruler. Therefore, according to Hobbes, in order to protect the life and property of the person, the Hobbes has said the state or the ruler must have absolute power. Must have absolute power. Absolute power means the subject ruler. It means, or in other words, the subject had no right. Subject means praja or the people. Subject had no right. They have no right against the king. They have no right against the state, because all they have surrendered their right already to the state, to the ruler. And therefore, whatever is done by the king, whatever is done by the state, they are not liable to give any account to the ruler. In good faith. Therefore, it was the maxim that the king can do no wrong, or whatever the law is made by the king or the state is not applicable over that king or over the state, because whatever is done by the state is good. जसं आपल्याकडे राजाला इंद्राचा अंश मानलं जायचं किंवा राजाला आपण राजेंद्र असं म्हणतो, म्हणजे जसा देवांमध्ये इंद्र आहे, देवांचा किंग किंवा देवांचा एक रूलर, त्याचप्रमाणे सगळ्या माणसांचा रूलर जो आहे तो राजा आहे, आणि म्हणून राजाला देवाचा अंश मानलं जायचं, आणि म्हणून राजा जे काही आज्ञा देईल ती फॉलो केली जायची, ती पाळली जायची. रादर राजाने आपल्या प्रजेचं रक्षण आपल्या मुलांसारखं करावं, असं त्या ठिकाणी आपल्याकडे म्हणजे भारतामध्ये देखील ही कन्सेप्ट उपनिषदांमध्ये आणि पुराणांमध्ये आपल्याला पाहायला मिळते. बट हिअर द ओनली थिंग विच इज डिबेटेबल इज दॅट whether the subject has surrendered all their rights or only certain right. And on this point, the other jurists have criticized the view of Thomas Hobbes. Okay, and on this point means the state shall have absolute power. On this point, the Austin has developed the theory of positive law or imperative theory of law, where the Austin has also said, or the Bentham also said, that the state or the ruler shall have absolute power to command, and therefore the Austin has branded his law that the law is a command of sovereign, and all subjects have to follow that command. Means the subject will have no right against the state, against the ruler. That is the outcome of this Hobbes theory of law. Okay, this is the stage where the natural law theory slightly moving towards the positivism or towards the new interpretation. Okay, after Thomas Hobbes, we'll see the views of John Locke. He has also created a huge impact on the legal philosophy, on the natural theory of law. Rather, they have created their own notions of natural law theory. The John Locke has developed his new political theories, and this has resulted into a renaissance and towards the sovereignty of the state. And therefore, they have undermined the importance of the individual. Means in this period of renaissance, all they have pointed out towards the absolute power of state. Means when there is absolute power of the state, in the other words, or on the other side of the coin, it means that the individual person has no right or have no right over the state, over the king as such. And therefore the John Locke has developed his theory, because he has witnessed the revolution in England and therefore he has developed his own interpretation of the social contract theory. The John Locke has rejected the notion of social contract theory propounded by Thomas Hobbes. John Locke has rejected the norm or a social contract theory propounded by of Hobbes. According to John Locke, whatever theory which is propounded by the Thomas Hobbes relating to social contract is not true. But according to him, why the state or how the state concept of state has been developed, according to John Locke, before entering to social contract, the life in the state of nature was not miserable. But social contract, or before entering into social contract, the life of nature or the person's life of nature was not miserable, means all they were happy. There was no any misery, there was no unhappiness, or there was no nasty life of the person, but they were all happy. They are not having any what we can say complaints against the state of nature. And therefore he said, instead the life was reasonably good and enjoyable. Further he said, instead, means rather than, the life was enjoyable or peaceful, enjoyable, but the property was insecure. But property was insecure, and therefore, in order to protect the property, the person enter into social contract. In order to, the life was enjoyable, there was no complaint about the life, but the property was insecure because of external aggression or external threats, and therefore in order to secure the protection of property, in order to secure protection of property, the person entered into a social contract. Men entered into social contract. Now, according to John Locke, this is the reason why the person entered into social contract. The person entered into social contract in order to secure their property. This theory is very much true till today also, because we see that the right to life and personal liberty, which is ensured under Article 21 of the Constitution, the life was there before the Constitution and after the Constitution also. But what is subject to the law, why the law has been made to regulate the relation, to regulate the governance of the property matters, and therefore the law is very important. The law has to secure the property. The property is the concept which is developed very early from the beginning of human life. Okay, the person enter into contract surrendering. Further he has given a notion, the person entered into social contract surrendering. He has not surrendered all the rights but only some of the rights, surrendering only part of his rights, surrendering only part of his rights. Not all the rights have been surrendered, and not all the rights, not all the rights. The Thomas Hobbes have said that all the rights, including the right to govern, right to uh, question the state or the ruler, have also surrendered according to Thomas Hobbes. But according to John Locke, no, not all the rights have been surrendered, but only few of rights, only part of his right have been surrendered to the state. And therefore The natural rights of a man, such as right to life, liberty, and property, remain with him. What he said further, and therefore other rights like other natural rights such as right to life, liberty, and other freedoms or right to property was remained with the person. They have not surrendered the right to life and personality. This theory was also taken into consideration while the Justice H.R. Khanna has given his dissenting judgment in ADM Jabalpur's case that the constitution has not given right to life. The constitution has not given right to liberty as it is contemplated under Article 21. But the constitution has merely recognized the existence of right to life. The right to life is with the person as a natural right. The constitution has not given, the constitution is not the giver of the right to life and liberty, and therefore the constitution cannot take away this right. The constitution merely recognizes the existence of this right, and therefore Justice H.R. Khanna was dissenting in ADM Jabalpur's case, or which is known as habeas corpus case. Okay, that is a benefit of such kind of theories in the area of the development of law, and therefore the jurisprudence is the skill of law or the knowledge of a law. We have to use this law to solve our present problems. Okay, further he said only the right to maintain order. What the Locke has said, only the right to maintain, only the right to maintain law and order, only right to maintain, only right to maintain law and order and to enforce the law of nature, and to enforce the law of nature was surrendered, was surrendered. Not all the rights, but only the to whom it is surrendered, to the state, to the king, to the ruler. Only the right to maintain law and order. Of course, it is the job of the police state, or it is the job of the state to maintain the law and order and to enforce this law. That is the law of nature. Job of the state, the job of the ruler. Further, he said the purpose of the state and law was to uphold and protect the natural rights of men. What is the object or the purpose of law? The purpose of the state, why the state has been established? The state has been established to uphold, not only to protect, but to uphold and protect the natural rights of men. The natural rights already exist with the person being a natural animal or being a human being. Every person has certain natural rights, certain fundamental rights or inalienable human right, and the job of the state is to secure, to uphold this natural right, and therefore the state, the machinery has been evolved by the person or by the man by entering into social contract. The people have a right to revolt against the government. What is said? The people will have right to revolt whenever the state is acting against the public interest. The people will have right to revolt against the state, against the government. If the government or the state is not maintaining, is not upholding or protecting the natural rights of men, then the people will have natural right to revolt, to ask the questions to the state. And therefore, he overthrew the theory of Thomas Hobbes. Means the people can go against the state and can overthrow the state. The state will have no absolute right over the people. Further, the John Locke has emphasized on the protection of three main rights. Locke has said protection of three main rights. Mean there are so many rights, but these are certain particular rights which have to be protected by the state. First, the right to life, right to life. Second, right to liberty, and third, right to property. These are very essential rights to live a life of human being, and hence these have been incorporated under Article 21 of the Constitution or under Part 3 of the Constitution. Earlier, right to property was also there under Article 91F, but due to some other reasons, it was deleted and inserted into other constitutional part, but not as a fundamental right. But these three rights have been guaranteed by the Constitution, as we know, under Article 21. The right to life and liberty has been protected. The right to life and personal liberty has been protected under Article 21. This is the impact of John Locke. This is the impact of legal theory of jurisprudence, that they have developed the present constitution. They have developed the present framework of the law. The right to life and right to property are very essential right to every human being, to every person. The right to property is an economic right. Without maintaining the economic equality, without maintaining the economic sustainability, there cannot be a peace in the society. This the right to property was also emphasized or exaggerated by the Karl Marx and other communist leader. They are of the opinion that the right to property must be secure. But now there is a difference whether right to life of person or right to life of public, right to property of public, or right to property of society, whose right have been has to be secured. Means if you want to make a development, then definitely we have to curtail the right to property of a person. And therefore, after the John Locke, Rousseau has developed this theory, and therefore, after John Locke, we are going to see the Rousseau. The Rousseau has said that there are three kinds of interest: personal interest, public interest, and social interest. And whenever there is a conflict in between this, the right to the personal interests have to be surrendered for protecting or securing the social interest or the public interest. Okay. Now we'll see Rousseau, that is Jean-Jacques Rousseau or Jean Rousseau. He has developed his theory of social engineering, and this is very popular theory of jurisprudence. It has a great impact on the law making process, not of India, but of any country. The Rousseau has made a huge impact. The Rousseau has given a very analytical view that the social contract is not a historical fact. Means there was nothing like a social contract. According to Rousseau, social contract is not a historical fact. Means this was nothing like this. Social contract is not historical fact. This is a bold statement made by the Rousseau, historical fact. But it is merely a hypothetical situation or hypothesis, but it is hypothetical conception. Means this is not real, but this is a hypothetical. Hypothetical, which is what we can say, fictitious one. There is nothing like a social contract. The man was being a social animal. He lived in the society, and therefore the social contract is a hypothetical conceptions of Thomas Hobbes as well as John Locke. Therefore, the Rousseau has said the social contract need not to be studied. According to him, prior to so-called social contract, the life was happy. According to Rousseau, prior to so-called, tathakathit, so-called social contract, The life was happy. The life was happy. All people were living in a very happy situation. The life was happy, and there was equality among men. And there was equality among men. There was no discrimination. There was equality among men. Then why the person developed the system of state or the ruler? He gives his answer. He said the people united. Why the people come together? The people united to preserve their rights, not to protect, but to preserve, to nurture, to develop, to preserve their right of freedom, their rights of freedom and equality, and equality. And for this purpose, they surrender their right. They means the people, they surrendered their rights. Here is the point of difference. Surrender their rights not to a single individual, not to a single individual, ruler or a king or a state, single individual or a single person, but to a community, but to the community as a whole. Community as a whole. Here the concept of communism and socialism has been developed. You can see that. As a whole, which the Rousseau is called as a general will. General will. Okay, we'll understand his theory. The Rousseau has said that there is nothing like a social contract as it is contemplated by or told by Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. The social contract is merely a hypothetical conception. Hypothetical means a fictitious, imaginary one. But according to Rousseau, prior to so-called social contract, the life was happy and there was equality among men. There was nothing like a discrimination or unhappy situation. But still people come together, they united. Here he said people united, people have not entered into contract. There was no contract like Thomas Hobbes have said, but the people united. The people come together to preserve their rights, to preserve their rights of freedom. This has been included under Article 19 of the Constitution. Okay, the people united to preserve their rights of freedom and equality. This is very important. People come together in order to preserve their right, not to protect, but to preserve, so that they can nurture, they can develop their freedoms, they can nurture their equality. And for this purpose, in order to protect, preserve the rights of freedom and equality, people come together, people united, and they have surrendered their rights, surrender their rights not to a single individual. They have not surrendered their right to a single individual like a state or the ruler or the sovereign authority or the king, like it is what it was contemplated by Thomas Hobbes and John Locke, but they have surrendered their right to the community as a whole. To whom they have surrendered their right? To the community. And this is known as the concept of general will of Rousseau. This is the concept of general will of the Rousseau. Now, moving further, he said the state and law are the product of the general will. This is very important to be noted, that the state and the law, the state and the law are the product of, are the product of, or outcome of, are the product of this general will of whom? Of the community. And this way, he has also developed the concept of representative democracy. The people have surrendered their right not to a single individual like an authoritarian state or like a ruler or the king, but the people has surrendered their right to the community, to the member of parliamentarians, to the parliament, to the executives, to the legislatures, as they are representative of the people. How they are representative?